It is currently the 8th of November. I have no idea when you're going to be seeing this video, but I do feel like I need to just talk about something. Okay. So this is going to be the beginning of my trying to get pregnant. I don't know whether that's the right word. I suppose we are trying, because basically recently I realised that it took me 5 years to get pregnant with Alfie. Obviously that I wasn't trying to get pregnant, so I guess it's different, but 5 years of no contraception, and Alfie came along in 2021. So me and Charlie had a conversation the other day, basically saying that we should probably start trying sooner rather than later, just in case it takes a very, very long time for me to. So my period ended a couple of weeks ago, and we said from that point, when my period ends, we're gonna start trying. What I mean by trying is we're not doing like ovulation sticks or anything like that yet. We're basically going to just ditch contraception. I'm tracking everything on my Flow app. So I've switched my Flow app to like trying to conceive, and it will tell me when my ovulation is. So at the moment it's saying that my best chances of conceiving are now and 11 more days, because my ovulation is in 6 days. So we're basically going to try that for a couple of months, and if that doesn't work, then we'll go on to ovulation tests and so on. We're doing it in stages. I don't want this to be a full-on TTC journey, because that's not what it is at this very moment, but I just thought that I would come on and start this whole video, and hopefully by the end of this video it will be me telling you that I am pregnant. I know people are going to have so many questions and I'm open to answering those as soon as this video goes up. I just don't know what this video is going to consist of, and it's scary. It's very scary, but we're ready. We're ready for a baby, and whether that baby comes now or in a year's time, we're just ready for it. And I can't even tell you how excited I am for you guys to hopefully come on this journey with me, however long it takes. And for Alfie to be a big brother again, because he already has a sister, if you didn't know, but it's not from me, it's from his dad's side. So I would absolutely love to give him a sibling, whether that be a brother or a sister, I don't know. And I'm not even gonna get into this because I'm not even pregnant yet, like, come on. But yeah, I just thought that I would start off this section of the video explaining exactly what's going on, and yeah, I guess we'll see what the journey has in store for us. Okay, it is currently 5:15 in the morning on the 20th of November. The last time I spoke to you was a little while ago, but I'll keep you updated. Charlie's still asleep, Alfie's up on the sofa. I got a very, very, very faint positive line yesterday, and I'm not convinced. So let's do a test now and see what the line looks like. If I am pregnant, I'm around 3 weeks pregnant. Just gonna use one of these strips. I don't have anything else. Should I do 2, just to be sure? Okay, let's do 2. So scared. It was probably just a false positive yesterday, because I feel like that's so early. Okay, we're on 4 minutes, so let's leave it for another 2 minutes. This is the longest wait of my life. You want to just find out? You want to find out whether you're having a sibling? Yeah. Right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. It's not focusing. It's not focusing. Gonna be your brother. Wow, that's that. I mean, I still don't fully believe it. I don't fully believe that I am pregnant with baby number 2. Surely not. But then, like, this, you can barely even see it, but there are 3 lines there. I'll explain more in detail later when I come back. I'll talk to you about just everything. I just feel very overwhelmed at the moment. I'm going to pop up to the shop, to Tesco, and get myself a clear blue digital and take that and see what happens with that, because if that is positive, then I'm going to have to tell my mum, because if I don't tell my mum, she's going to know and she's going to guess, and I'd rather be the one to tell her than her find out and guess, because she just knows me inside out and backwards. So I would rather go get it. But I'm going to look so muggy if this test comes back negative. I'm going to look so muggy. So, right, let's whip up the shop. Okay, I'm back from the shop. I got clear blue, double check and date. And then I also got some red dye tests. So I'm going to try it with the red dye test first. And then go in with the clear blue just to compare the results in case I need to. But they take about 400 years to do anything, those Tesco ones. Okay, I think there is definitely a line starting to appear on there, but am I tripping? I don't know. Okay, this one is just doing its thing. I just have a feeling it's going to say not pregnant, because this test here, like, that looks very negative to me. Slight line, but maybe it could be EVAP. Maybe I'm just like making all of this up. This is what I'm thinking. Maybe it's just like a massive placebo in my head and I've made this whole thing up. Right. What? That just looks so... Is there a line there or not? I feel like there isn't. Right, I don't know if this pregnancy test can be done. I'm gonna wait 2 minutes. And whatever it says, I suppose that's my answer. My heart is literally pounding out of my chest. Need up here a little bit. Right, 3, 2, 1. Shit. Hey guys, it's currently the 22nd of November. So I just thought I'd do a little update on how I'm feeling with the pregnancy. It's literally only been like a day or two, maybe I think 2 days since I last spoke to you, but a couple of things have changed. So I'm now considered, 3.5 weeks pregnant, which is still so incredibly early. But I've got the metallic taste in my mouth. I'm waking up feeling a little bit funny. And then the worst thing was I've had ever so slightly a bit of spotting. And if you know anything about my pregnancy with Alfie, I had a huge bleed around 7 weeks with clots, and it was fresh blood. It was a lot. And anyone probably would have looked at that and said that you've just lost your baby, which is what I assumed had happened. So I don't know whether I'm just a bleeder, or, you know, around this time, this is when implantation, I can't say that word, implantation bleeding starts. It's not fresh blood or anything. It's kind of like, TMI, but I don't care. It's kind of like a tinted orange discharge. So it just makes me so nervous, because that's exactly what I had with Alfie, but it was later on. So I'm just worried that, oh, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to speak about it like into existence, but it is just horrible. It's a scary thing, and you know, no one looks forward to this part of pregnancy, and especially when you've been through something as traumatic as I have before. So hopefully all is well, but yeah, staying positive, feeling good. I will update you if anything else changes. Okay guys, it is currently the 1st of December, Friday the 1st of December. I am 5 weeks pregnant on Sunday, which is already flying. Like, I can't believe it's already been 2 weeks since I found out, but I'm coming to you because I do have an update. It's a bittersweet update. It's nothing, I don't think anything has happened, but it's just one of those things where I am suffering from the trauma from my previous pregnancy, and I'll get into it. So basically something that I'm about to explain is very, very triggering for me, and it did happen, and it could happen again. So I'm just gonna go into it. I don't know if I've already said in this video, but if you are unaware, with my previous pregnancy with my son Alfie, who is 2 in February, I don't know when this video is going up, so it may be February. No, it'll probably be January. He'll be 2 in probably a few weeks by the time that you see this video. But my previous pregnancy with my son, I was told that I had a miscarriage when I didn't, and that was due to, so I think with Alfie I was about 6 weeks when I found out. I may have been 5, I can't remember, but it was like 5 or 6 weeks when I found out. Pretty much from the day that I found out, the day after, I started bleeding brown blood, and I was so nervous about this. Like, I was crying, anxious every single day. My mental health back then was down the drain anyway, so it really wasn't helping. And I ended up going to the hospital on the 7th day, pretty much a week after I was bleeding. They told me everything was fine, and then I had a fresh red gush of blood, and I was bleeding for a good half an hour. Really, really a lot, like tons and tons and tons, and I passed a clot. So I was under the impression at that point that I had miscarried. What my theory was, as of recent, was maybe that because I had an eating disorder at the time, I had missed 3 periods even during the time that I conceived Alfie, which is wild to me, like how I didn't even have a period yet I still managed to get pregnant. But I had missed 3 periods, and I kind of thought it was like, I don't know whether this is logical, this is sort of just in my head, to take this with a grain of salt, but I kind of thought that maybe those periods were sort of backed up, and that's what that turned out to be. That was my theory for the longest time. Then I had a lot of people on TikTok, social media, in my personal life saying that they thought Alfie could have been a twin and I lost a twin. There were just endless scenarios as to what happened, and I'm never actually going to find out what happened, because it wasn't a miscarriage of Alfie's pregnancy, because he is here in the flesh almost 2 years later. So I have no idea what that was about, but 1 in 4 women do bleed during pregnancies. When I found out that I was pregnant with this baby, I was genuinely convinced that I would not bleed. I don't remember what the last update that I spoke to you guys about was, but I know that one of the updates that I said I was spotting, and that was barely spotting. It was the tiniest amounts, and then it stopped. And I thought, right, that's my implantation bleeding, that's done, that's out the way. And I came on and spoke to you guys about that, about how I was nervous. So that was maybe over a week ago now. I then yesterday morning, as soon as I got up, I went to the toilet and I was bleeding again. It was brown. This is very TMI, but I don't care because most people on here will be mums, but it was brown and it was sticky and it was definitely blood. Brown blood is a good sign, I think, because it means that the blood is old. But this is exactly what happened with Alfie, like to a T, exactly what happened with Alfie. Almost to the exact gestation of pregnancy as well. So I sat on the toilet with Charlie and I instantly started crying and I was like, I can't go through this again. Like, even though I didn't have a miscarriage last time, I still feel like I did. I still carry all of those emotions because for 5 weeks I was so unaware that I was still pregnant and I still had to process those emotions as if I had just been through a miscarriage. So I do know how it feels for a certain period of time to lose a baby, even though I didn't lose a baby, which is so wild. But I just instantly thought the worst and I said to Charlie, look, I'm bleeding, what should I do now? And he just kind of gave me a cuddle and he was like, look, just wait it out, see what's gonna happen, like I'm sure it's gonna be fine. And all of it was brown, just constantly brown. I did a pregnancy test, the HCG was as high as it's ever been. The line is now darker than the control line, which is obviously a really good sign. And yeah, I was just bleeding for a while. I ended up just getting up and getting off the toilet and thinking, right, I've got to get on with this. I'm not going to get emotional talking about this because I've already had my fair share of getting upset. I actually had a nail appointment as well at 9:30 yesterday. I'm just going to quickly show you them. I mean, they're very Christmassy. And it's not going to be Christmas anymore by the time that you see this. But they're cute. But anyway, I had a nail appointment at 9:30. So I needed to get up and get sorted. I was also having very mild cramping as well, like a period. And the thing is according to my Flow app, yesterday was the due date for my period. And if you do look it up online, it does say like it's quite normal to have bleeding around the time of your period and cramping almost like you're coming on your period. And when I was pregnant with Alfie, my symptoms literally started the day after I had that huge bleed. Like, it was like the bleed happened, I thought I'd miscarried, and then my HCG like tripled, and that's when I started to get really sick. I started to get really tired. I had to go to sleep at 3 p.m. every day, and I just thought it was my body getting used to the fact that I wasn't pregnant and there was still HCG in my body, because that is literally what my doctors had told me, which is disgusting. Healthcare professionals back then, especially during sort of COVID times, we're not even gonna get into that. I know the NHS is overwhelmed, but come on, this is my body. Like, that could have been genuinely dangerous for me if I needed a D&C. So yeah, I don't really know what it was all about back then. I'm never gonna be able to know. But this time I haven't had that huge gush of blood as of yet. Hopefully I don't, but with Alfie, that gush of blood came because I found out I was pregnant when I was 6 weeks. I had the brown bleeding for a week, and then I had the gush of blood. So I would have been 7 weeks almost to the day when I thought that I had the miscarriage. So whether that's going to happen again or whether this is going to happen next week, I don't know. The difference is with this pregnancy, with the spotting, the brown, it literally stopped after half an hour. And then I had a little panty liner on all day, and the panty liner did collect a little bit, like it wasn't tons. I had a little bit throughout the day, and now it's completely stopped, which didn't happen with Alfie. I was bleeding like that for almost a week to the day. I was bleeding like that with Alfie before I had the gush. So I'm just praying to God that that is the end of it. There will be no more bleeding. 3 weeks, 3 weeks tomorrow. Tomorrow? Or is it today? Oh, I think it's 3 weeks today will be our... That just made my stomach drop because I just cannot believe it. It's 3 weeks away already. 3 weeks today will be our reassurance scan. So obviously then we'll find out a little bit more. Hopefully we'll be able to see if there's a heartbeat. This is... Oh God, guys, it's such trauma. It's such trauma for me to look back and remember how I felt and what I went through with Alfie, and then for a sort of similar thing to repeat. It's terrifying. But my mum came round yesterday morning to watch Alfie while I went and got my nails done, and as soon as she walked through the door I told her, and I started getting a little bit teary, and she basically was like, look, this has happened to you before. 1 in 4 women bleed during pregnancy. It's around the normal time. There's nothing that's indicating that anything is going to happen. She was like, you are just a bleeder. I think your body is, that's just the way that your body reacts to pregnancy at a certain gestation. And, you know, if you end up having 3 or 4 children, it can happen 3 or 4 times. So don't worry about it, just ride it out. And I did, and everything at the moment is fine. But I just wanted to come on and update you guys on that, because anything could happen. And if something does happen, if something awful happens, I will come on and I will talk to you about it. And if it doesn't, I will come on and talk to you about it as well. 3 weeks today, we find out what is going on, if the baby is okay. 3 weeks at this point feels forever away, but I know that it's going to come around so quickly because it's literally 3 days before Christmas. So yeah, that is my update. Okay, where do I even start, huh? For me, it's been a couple of weeks since I last filmed. Maybe, I think I may have filmed something last week on the fact that I was bleeding slightly, but yeah, that was pretty much it. So my last proper update was a couple of weeks ago now, I think. So as you can tell, probably by my face, my demeanour, things are starting to change. Oh, hello, darling. Is that you and mummy? Anyway, I am 6 weeks today. I think the date, maybe December the 11th or 12th. I think it's December the 11th, which is wild how quickly things are seeming to go. But I am apparently 6 weeks today. I don't know whether that is exact yet. Anyway, our reassurance scan is 10 days tomorrow, which feels absolutely surreal that has come around that quickly. I don't know whether I'm going to film that as like a whole vlog itself, or whether I'm going to put that somewhere in my first trimester vlog. I feel like I might just put it somewhere in my first trimester vlog, like in this vlog, because I don't know, I'm just so tired, guys. But I'm going to chat to you about how I've been feeling, what's been happening. So yesterday I actually told my work. If you didn't already know, I work in a pub once a week. I'm super close to everyone there, so it wasn't too bad me telling them. Oh, if you just zoomed that up my foot. It wasn't too bad me telling them. However, I was so nervous. I actually sent a message in the morning to my manager and then unsent it because I was so scared to tell him. So I went in, I was working with my assistant manager all day, which never ever happens. So because of that, I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to tell her yesterday. And I waited until the very end of my shift. And I was like, how am I going to tell our manager that I'm pregnant? And she was like, oh, do you want me to tell him? So she very kindly broke the news to him for me. And then he had a chat with me and he was like, you know, you'll get like your risk assessment and stuff started soon. So yeah, that's a weight lifted off my shoulders because I've been thinking about this for so long. I feel like it's so different for me now though, because I never knew this early with Alfie. I was trying to backlog it in my head earlier. Sorry, I'm going on such a tangent. I always do with these videos, I swear. But I was trying to backlog it earlier as to when I found out that I was pregnant with Alfie, exactly like to the day, how many weeks and days I was. I worked out that I found out I was pregnant with Alfie on the 2nd of June 2021. I took a normal test and a clear blue, and the clear blue said 2 to 3 weeks. So you're supposed to add like a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks onto that, I think. So if that's correct, I would have been around 5 weeks pregnant when I found out I was pregnant with Alfie. And I've always said that I found out when I was 6 weeks, but I think looking back on reflection, I think it must have been 5 weeks, because then a week later, I ended up going for my scan at the hospital because I was bleeding, and I remember them saying to me that they couldn't see a heartbeat yet. And when you look at all of online for everything, I know online's not very, like, you know, reliable, but when I was looking online at it all, it was saying that you can see a heartbeat normally from 7 weeks. So I feel like I went into the hospital, they couldn't see the heartbeat then, and then a week later, no, the next day after that was when I thought I had miscarried, which would literally be like tomorrow if this was a couple of years ago when I found out that I was pregnant with Alfie. Which is actually wild because I'm now at the point where I was with him, which is nuts. Very, very nuts. But I never found out this early with Alfie, so I never really had like the very beginning bit where it's like a very, very faint line, and I never had any of that. Yeah, feel like very surreal at the moment. But anyway, I'm gonna get into how I've been feeling and what's been happening the last few days. So I told you guys that I was bleeding. That has been very slightly on and off, but so random and light, and I haven't had it for the best part of a week, I think. Maybe a bit less, maybe it's been a few days. Guys, my brain, honestly, I've got baby brain already. Yeah, I've had a little bit of bleeding, all brown blood, nothing major, nothing concerning. Cramping wise, I had, this time last week, I went to Garson's with the garden centre. You guys would have watched that vlog like quite a few weeks ago by the time that this post goes up, that this video goes up, sorry. And it was a few weeks ago, but for me it was literally last Sunday. Me, Alfie and Charlie went to Garson's garden centre, and that day I had really, really bad cramping, like all day, but not like severe as in like, oh my god, something's wrong. It was just like period cramps, which I know is completely normal. So I had that all day. I have had it kind of on and off, but nothing major. But this week has been, especially the last couple of days, has been the sickness, nausea, food aversion, sense of smell. That's all starting to come in hot. And with Alfie, when I found out I was pregnant, I think like I said, I must have been 5 weeks, and, or was that, yeah, I must have been just like maybe a few days into 5 weeks or something. And it was literally the day after or 2 days after that I started feeling these weird things in my body. So it is almost copy and paste exactly how it was with Alfie, which obviously it might not have been the case, but it is. So the last couple of days especially, I am absolutely repulsed by eggs. I cannot even think about a fried egg. Actually makes me feel sick thinking about it. Scrambled egg, not too bad, but fried egg, like the crispy, no. Avocados, no. That's actually making me want to heave even talking about it. Ooh, hash browns and onions, vile, oh my god, vile. And yeah, just a few, those in particular. Anything sweet I'm absolutely fine with. I could literally eat chocolate for breakfast, lunch and dinner at this point. Most savoury things I'm okay with, but like breakfast foods, I've really gone off, and I've said a million times on these vlogs and on my TikTok as well that breakfast foods are my favourite foods ever. So that is 100% a symptom for me. I actually made me and Alfie some pasta for lunch, and the reason I made it was because I thought Alfie loves pasta, and I made this pasta 4-5 days ago and we all loved it. Me, Alfie and Charlie loved it. Me and Alfie at the moment, because Charlie is at a rehearsal, and I thought I'd make this creamy pasta again. Oh my god, garlic. I actually have left the kitchen in such a state waiting for Charlie to come back, so I cannot clean it because of the smell of garlic. It is actually making me feel so violently ill. I did not enjoy the pasta at all. I forced myself to eat it. All I wanted was a cheese and pickle sandwich. Couldn't have that because we didn't have any bread, so I just thought I'm going to force myself to have this meal. I even made garlic bread. Disgusting. So the food aversions taste bud changes, all of that are definitely coming in strong. And with Alfie, they got worse between week 7 and week 9. So whether that is going to be the case again, I don't know. I will update you all next week or this week at some point if it starts happening like that again. But it's definitely starting to. I can smell like the weirdest things. I can smell like Charlie's dinner on his breath. This is so disgusting, but I can smell Charlie's dinner on his breath even when he's like brushed his teeth and had like 10 mints, and I'm like, you're repulsive, like you're repulsive to me. And I was saying this to a couple of my friends last night, like, is it normal that when you first conceive a baby, it's almost like your body is like, oh, okay, I've done what I need to do, I've conceived, I don't need a man anymore. No, I'm not saying that I would like break up with Charlie or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying like the touch and the affectionate side and everything like that. I feel like I'm just very much, no, leave me alone, I'm on my own. Like, I don't really mind like cuddles, but kisses, I'm like, no, I can't kiss you. Like, I just feel, which I've never experienced before in pregnancy because I didn't have that with Alfie where I wasn't with his dad. So this is something new to me, but my friends were like, no, that's so completely normal for you to feel like that. Like, we both did. So yeah, there's that. In terms of nausea, it's very, very random. It's mainly over food and smells that I don't like. Thinking of certain foods, like thinking of fried eggs, makes me literally need to like do breathing exercises in order to be okay. So yeah, it's all starting to take place. I'm very tired. I'm very hormonal. I'm very tired, but I'm not tired in the sense that I feel like I could fall asleep 24 hours a day. I'm tired as in like I'm just drained. I'm just so physically drained. This morning I had my first proper hormonal cry where, you know, when you're on your period or you're due on your period and something that would normally upset you would upset you, of course, but you actually have tears streaming down your face and you physically cannot hold back that reaction. That was me this morning for about 2 hours, and I was bawling my eyes out over something so small. I'm not going to talk about it on here because I don't, it's kind of personal, but it's not a really personal thing to the point where, oh my god, like it's so traumatic, but it's something that would normally upset me if I spoke about it, but this morning it just got me in a whole different way. So I was crying about that for about 2 hours. Now I feel even more drained. But yeah, that is how I'm feeling on my exact 6-week update. This video is going to be so bloody long because I've already rambled on here for 13 minutes, which is bizarre, and I'm going to leave as much as I possibly can in because everything I'm saying is completely relevant to how I am feeling right now, and I want you guys to know that, and I also want to be able to look back on it. So just know that this is so real and raw. This is how I'm feeling. I don't know when the next time I will speak to you will be. I still have no idea what I'm going to do for the announcement. When you're seeing this, it will already be announced, which is in about pretty much on the day that I have my 7-week scan. If my due date is sort of where I think it's going to be, just spat at the camera, I'm so sorry if you saw that. But if my due date is where I think it's going to be, and everything is sort of how it's supposed to be now in my head, I will be announcing my pregnancy somewhere near the middle/end of January, sort of like the 20th. I don't know, I'm saying all this, but it would already be announced by the time that you've seen this video, which is so wild to me. This is all going to be in such the past. Like, even the first clip of this video was over a month ago now, which is wild, absolutely wild. And like I said to Charlie yesterday, because he was like, oh, you've never been this early with a pregnancy though, like with Alfie, were you? And I said, well, no, but I'm now at the point where I found out with Alfie, like I'm further on than that. I'm 6 weeks. And he was like, oh, you're 6 weeks already. And I was like, yeah, like double this time, and we will be announcing. And he was like, oh my god. So yeah, I still got a few more reactions to get, which I don't know whether it will be in this video. It will be a whole separate video. I don't know yet because I'm not sure how much footage I've got of that. I think I might do it as a whole separate video because I think it'd be really nice to show you guys people's raw reactions and stuff like that. Wait, that might actually already be up before this. I don't know. I don't know whether I'll be posting that first or whether I'll be posting that afterwards. I'll probably post that first, I can imagine. Yeah, I've still got a couple of people's reactions that I want to get because not everybody knows, obviously. But yeah, that is how I'm feeling at the moment. I'm just gonna go and completely avoid the kitchen. And yeah, we need to get things sorted and ready for Christmas. By Christmas Day, I will be coming up to, in fact, I will be 8 weeks. I will be 8 weeks pregnant. Jesus, it just goes so quick, man. Like, I'm so early, but it's just, anyway.